Alright. I'm back with more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We're still in day 3 of the investigation for Lana Skye. But now we're going to talk with Damon Gant, I believe. Oh, if you're looking for others, they're in the conference room. Thank you. The chief prosecutor saying what she did, the decision about Mr. Edgeworth, and not to mention her statement to the media. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas. I think festive is usually the word for those. We'd like a look around Chief Gant's office. Just go to the connecting hallway, take the other building, and take the elevator. Oh, you mean it's okay? I mean, we aren't police officers. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. Well, what are we waiting for? Whoopsie. Ah! What did I go into Ganondorf's room? Davy Jones's locker? What the fuck is an organ doing here? Where in the fuck am I? The chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that organ. That's real, isn't it? I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. He used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until I saw this. Duh! Never could remember where C was. Huh? Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put the paper he was reading on the desk. So, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I have my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And her provocative statements. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean the forged evidence. 2 years have passed since that incident. By how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and myself. So that's Mr. Marshall's brother. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right. Can't quite seem to put... I can guess. There's always that delay. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here so we can go out together. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case is long since over. There's no need to investigate anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Yeah. Now hurry up, get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over yet after all. What do you mean? He denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be some reason he doesn't want us looking around there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way to get back in there. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe, are you supposed to be at a meeting? Just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have you seen you ever... Blah, blah. Too much coffee. Have any of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both offices. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. Sounds pretty serious. Is it because of what my sister said? Well, that's basically what it all boils down to. I falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth's got the whole world after his blood. Ugh. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence would be forged. Lana Sky's the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present. Not only that, but as you know, there have been plenty of rumors going around. His amazing talent keeps him safe from those who don't like him. But now, are there really so many people that hate him? In our world, only those who have talent rise to the top. Edgeworth has that, but he's young. And no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problem with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Well, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all that pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth might crack. Actually, I took a look at that file earlier. Seems genuinely concerned. Did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. I mean, when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, he was trying to protect some girl. Me? Seems Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Oh, let me see. Think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. It's all written down here. His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Where the Ah, there it is. Hi! Is that? It's got a tag with SL9 incident on it. I believe this is that broken murder weapon. What are you doing with that? Ever since the case was closed, that knife's been locked away. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. You showed me the knife, it came right back to me. Well, what is it? Joe Dark was 42 at the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill salesman. A businessman? What made him take the serial killer? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. So, it was an accident? An accident, but it transformed him into an animal. He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then they killed the lady who saw the second crime. The kid walked by then, and he just killed him too. And then a jogger came up and killed the kid as well. And then he finally turned himself in. Seems he was pretty careless. Of course, this was all conjecture. Ain't a single shred of evidence. He turned himself in. But in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered the final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It was a good thing the last witness. Emma. Jeez. That knife, it's Joe Dark's, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, he had fingerprints on it. But no one actually witnessed him using it? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Well, yeah, anyway. Take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. The victim's body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You betcha, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Ew. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? Yeah, what is it? Is it money you need? You should talk to Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out right now and his office is locked, but we'd like to go in there and have a look around. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Simply put, I'd be canned. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this one? That won't work either. Data was deleted the day he died. So in other words, Gumshoe's our only chance to getting into that door. I wonder if something we could show him would change his mind. Goddamn. Can't think. Head for Edgeworth office. Okay. Alright. So now we go talk to Edgeworth. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? Sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to make? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. I wonder what he was writing. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. He's sitting right there. Just distract him. We'll check it out. Is it Detective Gumshoe? Ah! What? First, let me see what this girl is doing crawling on my floor. But, letter of... If you're having trouble read it, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. You don't... I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me's died. Edgeworth, none of that's your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. The path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. It's a letter of resignation. Aha! Well, that's what I needed. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is mine. My responsibility is prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I have made. I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why did it all come down to this? Even he can't keep his emotions in check. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my supervisors are banking on. I never thought this case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as that list? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. We just saw a picture taken around that time. God, there's so much evidence. This picture was hanging on the wall. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he got the prosecutor's trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. The trophy that he's holding, it's a little different from yours. You're right. I remember now. Remember what? That's what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind this design. A story? It's simple. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Could you tell us what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend this one. Because you were handed this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on ceremonies. I finished up at the office that morning and drove over to the police department. You finished up? Just odds and ends clerical work. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I asked someone to take something back. This. Oh yeah, he asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes. It was a piece of evidence in that case I closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here because of the chief asked you to? That's right. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written in 2 characters. The first means halberd, the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Something tells me this is the same story. I think this is the same story that a guy in Trigun mentioned. There was an episode, very late, where Vash is fighting some guy who basically turns himself into a living shield, so he can't be hurt by anything. I think he tells this story, if I remember right. Long ago in a kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he said could slice through any shield and armor. The second was a shield he said could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Yeah, this was the same story. The idea was that the halberd and shield were supposedly pitted against each other and both broke. So, slightly different tale. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. If that's so, why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Alright. Cool. Alright, so we made some more progress. We've still got a ways to go, though. And yes, like I said, this case takes twice as long as case 1-4. So there's just way more episodes. This just how it's gonna be. But we're getting to the end of it. I can get 5 or 6 more episodes, give or take. And that should do it for me. And I'll see you guys next time.